Hello, everyone. This is Lenard Guzman here with Emily Robinson on the Modern Divorce Podcast. It's April 28th. I think we got April showers. Is that a thing still?
It is.
In
We
Los
do.
Angeles?
It drizzled this morning.
Yeah, it was like it just an hour, a little bit, and I was upset because I just washed my car. I got this like wax I got from Amazon, and now it's ruined, I think. But I have to do it again this week. So um,
Yeah.
so how do we put this? How do we get Leonard's car that just got washed into the divorce world? Is there something we could put in there like could being upset lead to road rage and then come into the house and have an argument that leads to some marital problems?
There you go. Or who's responsible to pay the costs of the accident?
Oh, there's a lot of accidents. There's a lot of accidents. Like I think once the first 5 minutes of rain here in Los Angeles goes, people forget how to drive.
Yep.
So
They are like, oh, rain, don't know what to do. No one
so
can
May's
drive here in the rain.
so May's coming. I think is that like the divorce world? I guess there is no season. Like everyone has their own journey, but what's kind of unique to you in this? I think it's like we're going to be halfway through. A lot of parents are planning summer vacations because I guess travel's back in. I know I see people posting about going to Disneyland. Are you seeing this things kind of like oh okay, kind of back to normal? I mean, I'm in the grocery and I see no masks anymore, and I don't know what to do
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy now. I know. And now even airplanes, no masks. What I see is in the summer, people tend to not necessarily want to pursue things and want to hold off a little more because they want to enjoy their summer with their kids and not be in court. I really think it's busiest like in the fall and the spring. No one wants to do anything at the holidays and no one wants to do anything in the summer. Um, which is good for me because it gives me some time to, catch up. um, but yeah, it's also the vacation time. People want to go on their vacations. I'm actually going to Disney World. I'm so excited. Told my kids last night. They like are over the moon. So it's good if it's a little bit slower in the summer for me too.
All right. Well, let's see. I mean, you're too happy. We got to look into what's going on because so what we do in this part of the show, we go over the trends going on Google, things that are happening, celebrity news, financial news. We see. So the first story we have is it's from News 10 San Diego, but it looks like it's a national story. So I think this trend's happening. We've covered this before, the Great Divorce. So Great Divorce, it's rising and having a devastating effect on women. So at a time when divorce is becoming less common for millennials, so-called Great Divorce is on the rise for older generations of Americans. According to the Pew Research Center, the divorce rate for those 50 and older has roughly doubled since 1990, far more than any other age group. According to the study, divorces among 40 to 49 rose 14%, but they fell by 21% in 25 to 39-year-olds. During the whole process while we were married, I found out my husband was online dating, said Jill Story, a woman in her 40s who divorced her husband in 2017. The rise in older generation is spurred by a host of various factors, including changing stigmas around divorce. Women are more empowered and educated, which has offered them more freedom to walk away from emotionally draining situations. Life expectancy has risen, prompting more people to question whether their marriage or union is right for them over the long term. For a 50-year-old woman, her marriage might last 30 years, possibly even longer. So it's ups and downs. The stakes for those in unhappy marriages to find better situations. Wow. So I guess I think maybe this thing keeps going because we'll live longer. I don't know if we're the generation that lives to like 150, but people change, right? People aren't who they are in their 30s, and people living longer. Is that the trend we're seeing even more?
It's true. Yeah. So this is like a thing, a popular, I shouldn't say popular, a common trend now going on, and we call it gray divorce, which is, divorce is over 50, where people are like waiting for their kids to go off to college, or, waiting for, you know, just to be at different place in their life. Kids to grow up, be more established in their careers, that kind of thing, to pursue divorce. Sometimes they're unhappy for a long time and they wait, or sometimes, like you said, people just change. They're not the same person they were when they were younger. So it is a common trend, gray divorce. And I think that it is attributable to many things. Like, one is people living longer. So, in the old days when people didn't live that long, if you're in your 50s, you're like, well, I'm just going to wait it out. But now you could only be like halfway through your life. So you want to enjoy the second part of your life. Some of it is people having kids older. So your kids aren't out of the house till your 50s or even your 60s sometimes. So I think that, um, as we as a society, get married later, have kids later, it naturally makes sense we divorce later too.
Okay, this one's an interesting one. So the actor that played Punky Brewster, she's popping up in our news feed. So
Oh.
um, I don't even know her name. Soleil Moon Frye getting Punky Brewster money in divorce settlement. So Punky Brewster star Soleil Moon Frye will get almost 40,000 a month in support for her ex-husband, including royalties from her popular 1980s TV series, according to legal documents obtained by the Blast. So this is from Yahoo Entertainment, but they're sourcing the Blast. The couple has just finalized a financial and property settlement in their ongoing divorce, including amounts to be paid for spousal support, child support, and a split of their Hollywood residuals. In the settlement, Punky will receive $18,996 a month in spousal support, along with another $17,281 a month for child support. So Leo and ex-husband Jason Goldberg share 4 minor children, as we reported. SMF filed for divorce in 2020 after 22 years of marriage. Interestingly, the documents state that Goldberg rakes in over $160,000 in income, and SMFs are just over $8,000 a month. Well, let's see a little bit. Let's go into a little more depth. The former couple has agreed to share joint custody of the child, but the family dog Bello is going to be paid for and cared for by Moon Frye. The good news, the doggy will be able to travel with the kids while they stay at dad's house, along with the support. A one-time equalization payment will be made by Goldberg to Moon Frye in the amount of $631,000. The whopping payment represents the ex-couple's community property in several LA homes. Is for Punky. She's living in the couple's Venice Beach property, and they are selling the family home in the Hollywood Hills. As for the cars, Punky will keep the Chevy Suburban, and he will get the Land Rover. Very detailed. Like, I'm
That is
surprised
detailed.
how
What
specific it
what
is.
paper is that?
So
Or
this
what?
is it's on Yahoo Entertainment, and then I guess it got sourced from the legal docs from the Blast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so what I think happens is those people go into the public record and they pull up people's, divorce petitions and their divorce settlements. And then they basically just summarize it in their articles. Cause I've seen that all the time. It'll be like, this celebrity filed for divorce and he claims irreconcilable differences and their marriage was on this date and they separated on this date. And it's basically just clearly reading down the legal document. So I have a feeling that's what they do. And so they're just reporting what the legal documents say. But that sounds like a typical celebrity divorce, those high numbers and um, that kind of a settlement. Um, but on the plus side, at least they could settle and work it out and move forward. It's sad when you hear Punky Brewster is getting divorced. You think of her like a little kid still.
Hey, she's still getting residuals. Like that's probably like perpetual residuals. Like I mean that's that's not bad. I think it was like 8,000 a month, which is I think it ended in the 80s. Is that a like an 80s? I wasn't a fan of it, but I know people who just love it so much. I mean, I don't know. It's an NBC show, so it's probably on Peacock. I think maybe.
Oh, yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, but obviously he's making more than her with what it sounded like he had to pay.
All right, more celebrity news here. Kristin Cavallari says co-parenting after divorce has given her the perfect balance. This is from Yahoo Life. She is the Hills star reality, TV and reality TV and shows. There's this weird thing now, like it's like they're actually like it used to be reality star, now it's like they're just stars. So everyone's a star in LA, I guess. Okay, let's go through her
Pretty
thing.
much.
She says she's found the perfect balance in her life since getting divorced. A 35-year-old reality television star and entrepreneur named Nikki and Brie Bella for a live episode of the Sisters of Bella podcast in Nashville, Tennessee, where Cavallari discussed motherhood. When asked about balancing work and being a mother of three, she shared that co-parenting has helped. I got divorced 2 years ago and just sort of forced this perfect balance on me. I have my kids for a week now, and then I don't have them for a week. So what I've decided to do is that when I have them, I'm mom. That's it. I really don't even go to the office when I have them because I'd rather be home prepping dinner and going to the grocery store and doing all this mom stuff, she explained. But then when I don't have them, I'm in LA, I'm in New York, I'm at the office later, I'll see friends. That's when I can catch up on my personal life and do all the work I need to. So in that sense, I'm lucky.
Hmm. Well, I, as a working mom, I think work-life balance is incredibly important. And, um, there's lots of areas in our life where we feel stressed and not necessarily lucky, especially in the divorce context. But I think it's important to look at the parts where you do feel lucky and you do feel like, you know, I can balance all of this, or I can do this because of how, I've arranged my life, or I've created a situation where I can really focus on, work-life balance or balancing my kids with work. So I like hearing people say ways in which they're lucky instead of just ways in which they are sad, which is what you usually hear in divorce, which is totally to be expected. But let's focus on the good things is a positive.
Now, like with people, like, I don't know if it'll ever go back is what it was in like 2019, or people would go in the office. And that was kind of like the work culture. You go in an office. And now 2 years ago, I know like a lot of people, they're like a lot of people are like, either it's a hybrid or they're like, I'm never going back to the office. How does that, like, have you seen like the home life change, or like maybe are there more like arguments between couples? I know maybe the size of the home, it's tough because you need two home offices. How does that dynamic, has it changed? Where do you see it going? What's the thing going on right now?
I mean, I definitely see people, if they're in a smaller house or even a big house, having to work at home together all the time. It definitely does cause a lot more fighting and stress and chaos. So I think some people choose to go back to the office because it's better for their marriage. I've seen people add on offices or do like those, dwellings outside. I think they're called ADUs. like to have some space from each other. But yeah, it certainly does cause a lot more tension. But again, you're also lucky because you can balance your kids with your work. I mean, it's double-edged sword.
Okay, this is probably opening up a can of worms, but so Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, this is it it's not a divorce case, it's a defamation case. Do you want to go in it, or just give me your opinion?
Well, they divorced, and then so I've been following this one because I'm a giant Johnny Depp fan, and
Perfect.
And before all this stuff happened, and so they had divorced already, but then she went on to write some article about being an abused woman and stuff like that, and he decided that must have been about him, and so he brought this defamation case against her. And the testimony is crazy. Like, if you've read any of the articles about what they're saying about each other, and the things that they say, I mean, it's no different than any other case. It's just on a larger scale. Like, I saw yesterday, she had a picture of him falling asleep holding an ice cream cone. I don't know if that was to say like he was on drugs or something. And he talked about her like going to the bathroom in the bed on purpose. I mean, it's really intense. Like, but this is very similar to what happens in regular divorce cases. It's just on a smaller scale, and no one hears about it because they're not famous,
So just to be clear, because I'm kind of like lost in it. Right now, what's going on in court is like a defamation suit, right? I think it's like 50 million. I think 50 million. I saw in the headline. So whoever wins the case, do they get who's this $50 million coming from, and then how is it allocated, or like, so like at the end, what's like if one, like the jury's like, oh, well, since you're Johnny Depp fan, let's say they side with Johnny Depp. He's like, everyone's laughing and he's kind of winning the room right now. What happens?
Well, then Johnny Depp would win, and I guess she would owe him the money that he's requesting for defaming his character.
Okay.
If he doesn't win, then she wouldn't owe him anything.
Okay. Because I was like $50 million. Like, this is like, why would you put the headline there? Okay.
Yeah, right. That's what he would get from her, or whatever number the judge decides is reasonable.
Okay, so we'll come back to this when this is over. And how long do you think this case will go on for?
I mean, they're still in trial. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine this could go that much longer. How many, things can they how much defamation can they each say? They were only married for like a year and a half or something.
There's like thousands of text messages and photos. They're just gonna go through the album. Okay. All right. We'll to be continued. Okay, let's move on here. So let's get into the part of the show where we ask Emily anything, and these are posts from people, starting the divorce journey, who are, having trouble with child custody, maybe mental health issues. And so, Emily can give us some insight and kind of tips and advice and how to navigate it. So let's get to this first one. So it's a getting started one. Exclude wife from birthday party or birthday dinner. So my daughter has really taken my side throughout this ordeal. For now, my wife and I are still separated in the same house while she recovers. My birthday is next week, and today my daughter messaged me about wanting to take me to dinner, and with just her and her brother, just wanted to see what others, were thinking, excluding my wife. We've told nobody but our kids about the separation.
So is he saying what others were thinking about excluding his wife? I can understand that.
So he's asking you, like, what do you think of excluding my wife from this particular birthday dinner?
Okay, that's what I thought he was saying, but I don't know. I guess I'm tired. For some reason, I didn't get it. Okay. I mean, I think that, you know, that's a personal decision. You got to do what makes you comfortable, and you don't want to create awkward situations. And I think it's okay to do that and say, if you're not ready to tell people, you can make up some other reason why you're, you know, she's not able to come. I think it's your business and you can tell people when you're ready. But I also think that, you know, it, I think it's totally a personal decision. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. But if it's going to ruin it for you and be awkward, then I think probably excluding is the better thing to do. And then to just probably have an excuse or reason why when people ask. Like maybe she's not feeling well or something until you're ready to tell people.
Just don't go to the same restaurant that the wife goes. Can you imagine like that awkward? Oh, what are you
Yeah,
doing here? Oh,
exactly. Exactly. Like what
so
happens in movie.
so come prepared. Okay. So this is our last post of the day. We only got a few today, two. So this one's a getting started one. So need advice about ex stealing from me. My wife and I have been separated for about 3 years. During the time, I've raised our kids almost entirely single-handedly and work 6 days a week. She lives 30 minutes away at her boyfriend's mother's house for free, and she's been unemployed for 7 months. Over the past year, she's stolen a large amount of money multiple times. So the first time was when I gave her my card to get out rent money for me to put into a money order. The second was when she managed to make our child tax credit paid directly to her. The third is my taxes, which I asked her to help me file. She apparently went ahead and signed my name and set it up to pay a new card she set up. Every time something like this happens, I feel like I'm back living with her and her gaslighting. She always starts lying about misunderstandings, and then she blames me before usually just giving me and it's not my problem type answer and hanging up on the phone or leaving. I'm not sure if I could do anything legally about her taking my taxes, but my boys and I are struggling to make ends meet. She and I haven't yet filed for divorce. Is it possible that I could address these issues there? Any advice?
Yeah. So typically in that kind of situation, what you have to do is keep a list of everything that she would owe you from what she's taken after separation. And you would address it there. You'd address it in the divorce settlement. There's not really any other way to do it. So it would just go on to the list of property to divide. You have to have the proof. So keep whatever proof you have. And when you're working out the final agreements or going to court, that's when you would bring all that stuff up. You would request back your share.
So keep your receipts. That's the best thing to do. Or I mean, they're all online,
Always,
right?
always keep your receipts.
Okay, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us on the Modern Divorce Podcast, and see you next week.